Hello students. In the previous lesson you have already learned about the entire process of spermatogenesis. Today you are going to learn about spermiogenesis in detail and the changes that occur during the spermiogenesis. Now, this is basically the transformation of non-motile, rounded and haploid spermatid into a functional motile spermatozoon. This process is known as spermiogenesis or spermatoteliosis. Now, during spermiogenesis, the spermatids begin to grow a tail, then develop a middle piece, and then a head. So, what are the changes that occur during the spermiogenesis? The first change that occurs is the development of the acrosome cap. Now, the cell develops the acrosome which covers the sperm head and contains enzymes that assist in penetrating the zona pellucida during the fertilization. Another thing which you are going to see is the condensation of the nucleus. Here, the nucleus of the spermatid shrinks by losing much of its water from the nuclear cap and the chromosome becomes closely packed. Here, the ribonucleic acid is eliminated, leaving only the genetic material, that is the DNA and the basic protein. So in other words, there is a loss of materials like RNA, nucleolus and most of the acidic proteins, leaving behind only the DNA and the basic protein. Another change that occurs in Golgi. Golgi separates into acrosome and the rest forms the Golgi rest. The Golgi apparatus, which secretes the acrosome, separates from the head cap and moves towards the opposite poles. The remaining part of the Golgi is gradually reduced and ultimately discarded from the sperm as Golgi rest. Along with this Golgi rest, there are some cytoplasm which is also discarded. Next change that is observed here, that the cell becomes elongated like this and it forms a neck connecting the head to the middle piece and the tail. The middle piece contains the mitochondria and this mitochondria forms a spiral ring behind the neck around the distal centriole and proximal part of the axoneme, and this is known as Nebenkern. The cell basically loses most of its cytoplasm and some cytoplasm which is still there forms the sheath of the tail of the sperm. By now the spermatids mature into a spermatozoa and this spermatozoa gets nourishment from the Sertoli cells. From Sertoli cells. When this matured spermatozoa get released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubules, this process is known as spermiation. Fine. So we have learned here that when the non-motile rounded haploid spermatids develops into a functional and motile spermatozoon, it is known as spermiogenesis. And when the spermatozoa becomes matured and they get released into the seminiferous tubules, that process is known as spermation. So this is all about the spermiogenesis. In the next lesson, you're going to learn about the structure of the sperms. Thank you.